couldn't do this live last night because Polyphony Digital couldn't code to save their own lives. So we basically ended up with having to, and it's round 4, not round 3. Ignore that graphic there. Yeah, they couldn't code a lobby spectator mode to save their lives. Essentially, what they're trying to do is sell lots of VR. So they've sacrificed having nice lobbies for streaming in order to promote VR to the masses. So we're doing this from a replay. Didn't get a chance to do it last night. It was too late by the time it all kicked off and everything else. But yeah, so we've got a couple of workarounds we can try and use this week, and I'm going to test them out this week, and we'll see if we can do that next week for these guys. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the race. I think we'll have a quick look at how they qualified. Obviously, I can't show you qualifying. So Simonas qualifies on pole. This will be an unprecedented 8 wins on the trot for Simonas in season 3 and season 4. Season 2 and season 3. If he wins from pole. MT96 King Bob, there he is. He qualified in 2nd. Manfredas qualified in 3rd place. Paz Kozas 99. He qualified in 4th place. Wendigo qualified in 5th. Fizrokas in 6th place. Shady qualified in 7th. Danius D in 8th. Gudrazo in 9th. Pleasurecraft in 10th. Timosius qualified in 11th place in the Jaguar. Mr. J, hoppity hop, 12th place for him. 13th for Arminis. Great performance from him in the Porsche Cup this week just gone. All the results are out and done and dusted. Good finish from him for Black Flag. And Dariukas brings up the rear in 14th place. So shall we crack on with a bit of racing and see how we get on? I think we should. I don't know the result. I haven't seen it. I genuinely didn't want to ruin it by watching it. So I'm as in the dark as you guys are. So let's crack on and give it some, shall we? I think everything works. We'll soon find out. So here we go. Simonas will lead the way. We'll have a look. So we're at Kyoto today. And it's Yamagiwa and Miyabi, the longer one, which is a really, really cool track. We'll go on board with Wendigo as they start with a rolling start. And straight into turn 1 they go. Good start from everybody. Everyone through cleanly by the looks of things. I can't give you any kind of split times because we don't have them on a replay. So we're going to kind of just try and black this. It is 23 laps right here, and that is Manfredas facing the wrong way. Already 1 casualty to the slippy slidey round turn 1. Got him some work to do. MT96 had a problem as well because he is way back there. Did they have a collision? There's no damage for MT96, only for Manfredas. So it looks like MT96 just turned the wrong way around. And Paz Kozas in last place. So everybody's slip and sliding off this racetrack early doors here at Kyoto. But out in the lead there is Simonas already leading the way from Wendigo. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a battle between these two. Well, I say battle between these two. At the moment, Simonas is absolutely romping home every single week. But Wendigo certainly looks like the best of the rest at the moment. So unfortunately in season 2, that he had it sewn up until Simonas got involved in the championship for season 2. And of course, Simonas is the reigning champion. So Wendigo in that BMW, closing in on the back of Simonas. Can he bring the race to him? Can he break that record? Or stop the record for Simonas? Simonas, of course, is now going for 8 wins on the spin. An unprecedented 8 wins on the spin, of course, as well, after his win last week. Didn't bring the table up actually for this week, but I can assure you that with 3 wins that Simonas is top of the tree. Already little gap back to Fizrokas and Shady, who are battling for 3rd and 4th. Now normally we would expect to see King Bob MT96 in there, but he had an earlier off, and that's sent him away to the back of the pack. So this is the battle currently for 3rd place. And Shady tucked in nicely behind. I've got to say, I love that livery on Fizrokas' car. That is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best I've seen in any racing series. But there is Shady closing in at the moment. Can he make anything of this as we start lap 2 of 23 here at Miyabi and whatever it's called. It's Kyoto. Yamagiwa, that's it, Yamagiwa and Mayabi. But there he is in 4th place, trying to find a way, and got to be careful of going on those little rumble strips, because you go a little bit too far left or right as you go through them. That's how you find yourself facing in the wrong direction. But Dariukas making a move on Gidrazo. Gidrazo had a problem. Looks like he hit the wall because Arminis goes through, Danius D goes through, Tomotius as well. MD96 also gets through. Gidrazo dropping down to 10th place. And here's Pleasurecraft. Is he making a move on him now? Pleasurecraft up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? As they head down here, and I think Gidrazo's just going to have the edge. Is he? He's not. Pleasurecraft moves up into the top 10. Gidrazo dropping down that order. Paz Kozas, after his early shenanigans and a little bit of damage in the rear there for him, is back in 12th position. Mr. J in 13th. He's got some front end damage. And Manfadas, he's got no damage. He's on the medium tyres though. Butter some way back at the moment. And that is probably 6 or 7 seconds already back. We have still got this little nugget right there. This is the tyres and fuel situation. We'll have a little run through and see who's got what. So I'm thinking everybody's going to start on the medium compound tyres. Simona certainly did. He's not getting away from Wendigo though. Wendigo's on the right. So here's why Wendigo's crawling over the back of it. Wendigo started on those soft compound tyres. Now the only way he's going to make those work, he's just gone pretty quick in the first sector there. Can he beat the fast lap? The way he makes this work is he's got to close on Simonas early on and get past him on those soft compound tyres. He's going to have to pit first. That is key. Now Fizrokas behind, he's on the medium compounds, as is Shady. MT96 on the softs. He had a really bad start, so it's ultra important that he gets those tyres working for him as best as possible. He's back up to 5th, but he's still trying to save his race. Bear in mind that he qualified much further up the field. Dariukas in 7th. This is quite a long midfield train. It's Dariukas, Danius D making the move, and he's got Arminis with them, and 3 abreast going into turn 1. Who's going to make this move stick? Dariukas loses out. Danius D moves up to 6th place. Arminis moves up to 7th. Only briefly, because he moves up to 6th and takes that position for himself in that Supra. Got it singing today as Arminis. So Arminis from Dariukas, from Danius D. Danius D moving back down to 8th place. There's Timosius and Pleasurecraft all involved as well in that same battle. Danius D is in danger of getting swallowed up here now by Timosius, who himself has just seen Pleasurecraft dive up the inside into 9th place. That's a great move from Pleasurecraft to take that 9th position. And look at that. We're looking at a real good battle going on here. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all vying for a position. And we look back, Gidrazo not far behind. He's looking to get involved in that battle as well. There is some front end damage on Timosius. In fact, quite a few cars across the board damage. Have a look. Simonas and Wendigo, they're fine. Soft compound tyres there, of course, for Wendigo. And they are going to be heading into the pits to get rid of those in probably another lap or two. Fizrokas, I'm taking a lot out of those medium tyres, to be fair. Very, very abrasive. And there's Shady, little love tap on the back of Fizrokas. Just lets him know he's there. He doesn't get the move done that time, but he looks to be all over him right now. There we go, softs for MT96 is staying away from the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th. We'll say this battle, I mean, Armanis now has opened up himself a little bit of a comfy gap. As you see in the background there, Danius D and Dariukas going at it, Pleasurecraft getting involved. This is a massive battle between these 3 cars at the moment. A little slide on the back end for Danius D. That just gives Pleasurecraft the impetus. He moves forward. Dariukas up to 7th. Pleasurecraft up to 8th place. He is making some big moves. And Wendigo jumps in incredibly early in those soft compound tyres. Just 3 laps on those soft compound tyres. Really not conducive to any kind of race pace, because it doesn't matter how quick you go. If you've got to dive in every 3 laps, you're going to have to find a better solution. But Dariukas up to 7th, Pleasurecraft in 8th. He's going to make the move with Dariukas around the outside. Can he make it stick? He can't make it stick. He has to drop back into 8th. Going for the little undercut, little switcheroo. Does he make it work? Yes, he does, but how long for? Dariukas goes wide. That allows Danius D through. This battle is just changing hands all the time. There is a yellow flag Is that any permanent issue? It doesn't look like it. Well, it might be, because MT96, that's a charge for me. He's back up into that top 3. That BMW is doing wonderful, wonderful work. Wendigo comes back out in 4th place. So actually, just switching out those tyres and getting back out has proved to be not a bad idea. He's only lost a couple of places. He's still well within the shout. MT96 in front of him is going to have to pit very soon. It's looking very, very good. And I do apologise that we are doing this on a Monday afternoon. It's not usually something I do on a Monday afternoon. To be fair, I'm usually working on a Monday afternoon. Just so happened I wasn't working this afternoon. I just had to work this morning. So it's just giving me the opportunity to get this done. Got a few races this week on GT7. We're going to try some of the workarounds that have been suggested, so we can do PD's job for them and try and get some broadcasting done. I had a little rant about it yesterday, which we'll see what happens with that. But let's have a look down at the back. So Mr. J, how far? He's probably about 6 or 7 seconds now down at the back of the pack, but he's just come out of the pits on soft compound tyres. Manvidas on the medium compounds. Let's get rid of access. Manvidas on those medium compounds. He is, again, probably 9-10 seconds back from Gidrazo. Gidrazo has got some damage on the front end. We saw him dropping down the order a couple of laps back, and now on lap 4 of 23. He's got some work to do to try and catch up to the back of that battle. And that battle at the moment is Paz Kozas. In fact, let's go on board, Paz Kozas. You can see there's 4 cars involved here. You've got Timosius, Danis D, Dariukas, Paz Kozas, all involved in this battle. As we see, I think that was, who was that going into the pits? That was Fizrokas in the pits. That's also King Bob, MT96 in the pits. So Shady up into the Dizzy Glass second. And I don't think we've seen Shady in 2nd place yet in this championship. And here we go. Here's Paz Kozas trying to make the move on Dariukas. He gets a great run out of that turn. Can he make a move on the WRX? He's got that inside line. Tries to dive up inside, but Dariukas does a great job of holding him off. But loses a bit of control there. Does force Paz Kozas into the wall. That's a bit of damage for Paz Kozas. And he doesn't look very happy about it. Giving him a little niggle back there. That wasn't coming together. That was unnecessary. I don't know how much control Dariukas had over that, to be fair. He lost control. He got on the grass and got a bit squirrely. And it looks like he lost a bit of control of that car. Danis D, there he is. He's currently running in 7th place. And he's got Timosius just in front of him. And looking at tyre wear between the two of them, there is nothing in it. Although Danis D, with some damage on the front of that car, will be giving up a little bit of pace at this stage. Fastest lap of the race. Here's the difference. Fastest lap of the race, Simonis with a 2 minutes 14.7. And Danis D running 7th place, 2:19.6. That was before he picked up damage as well. It just goes to show the different level between Simonis and everybody else at the moment. We need to find some Lithuanian drivers of that kind of ilk. Someone to put some frighteners on Simonis. Someone like, Las Vidas we know pretty handy in a car last season. I wonder if we can get him involved at some stage. There is Timosius. He's got clear, you can see in front of him. There's no real danger in front, or nothing we need to see in front. He's got Danis D, probably about 1.5 seconds, if that, behind him. The tyres looking pretty darn ropey right now. 5 laps is all these medium tyres seem to be doing. This is going to be an absolute pit fest. If we're not using hard compound tyres here, and they're going to be pitting every 3 to 5 laps, we're going to spend more time in the pit stop than we are on the track. I did forget to mention, of course, the glorious sponsors. We'll do that while there we go. Look. That Splash. I don't know. The picture's not working. That's their website. That's all their details. They are the sponsors of this brilliant competition. You can see that logo there, just above the course, and on the front of Timosius' car. Look, how about that? What a segue! Plan that. Absolutely plan that. He comes back out on medium tyres, does Timosius. And yeah, I'm talking about that Splash. I'll tell you now, if I ever do get a chance to go to the I'm going there because it looks freaking awesome. Awesome, yes it does. Wendigo takes the lead of this race after Simonis goes into the pits. What tyres did he come out on? He's come out on the soft compound tyres. His fastest lap at 2:14.7. Wendigo closest to him with a 2:15.2. But so much work for these guys to do until the end of the race. We're only 6 laps in. We've already had a pit stop for everybody, and we're not far off a second stop for some of the soft tyre runners. So Wendigo at the moment, and that gap is somewhere around, well, we can count it, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, about 7 seconds. Thank you, PD, for allowing us the opportunity to learn how to count. Arminus GT up into 3rd place. Good run from him. One more lap on those medium tyres, though, that he's doing now. I'll tell you what, he's going to be glad when he sees that pit entrance, because they are looking ropey. But he should get in absolutely fine and change those tyres out. King Bob up to 4th place. He should have been running higher up. Had a bad start. Had to really go hammer and tong, hell for leather on those soft compound tyres early doors to work his way back into the top 5. At the moment, he is now up into 4th place. He's going to stay out for a little while longer. He's on those medium tyres, but we've seen that the medium tyres only really give you 5, maybe 6 laps if you really good with them. Arminus pulls in. MT96 stays out. So that will promote him up to 3rd. Shady up to 4th place. He's running high at the minute. Shady having an excellent race. Excellent race by his standards. Danish D dives into the pits as well on those medium compound tyres. He's got a bit of repairs to do as well as that. So, everyone's going to the pits. It's throwing me off a little bit. What's going on? I can't scroll through people again. Okay. It's not allowing me to scroll through every driver. Brilliant news. Dariukas, there he is in 14th place. No, he's not. He's in 13th because Mr. J is in the pits, but he comes through and takes 13th position. Still quite a gap back from Danish D in that GTR who's just come out of the pits. Half a tank of fuel, but again, you know, six laps again on those medium tyres we had to change. That's the most they seem to be able to do. There's Gidrazo making a move on Paz Kozas up into 10th place. Can he make it stick? They're side by side. Neither wants to give this up. Gidrazo's going to have the outside line now. Paz Kozas with the inside. He'll retake 10th place. Can Gidrazo do that little switcheroo? No, he can't. So he has to settle back into 11th place behind Paz Kozas. But no doubt in my mind, this battle will continue throughout this race. Just starting to open up a little bit. For where that midfield battle was for sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Little gap between those two. Then we move up. Arminus out in 9th place. He's got ahead of him Timosius, so you can just see, just ahead in the distance there. He is chasing down Manfredas and Pleasurecraft in 6th and 7th. So this is currently the battle for the top 6 you can see here. And they're just about a second, 1.1 seconds between these cars at the moment. And I'll tell you what, that Sky is looking really, really dodge. Wendigo manages to do 4 laps that time on those soft compound tyres, and in he goes again. That is a second pit stop, only 7 laps into the race. There's Manfredas. We can see him there just running in 7th place. But look at this battle here. Pleasurecraft and Fizrokas. It's not, I thought there was a bigger battle going on there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Pleasurecraft had a little bit of an issue and dropped back. But it looked to me like they were a lot closer than that a minute ago. But Pleasurecraft running in 6th and just ahead of him. I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if this rain. Look at the state of that sky. Those clouds are nasty. Fizrokas in 5th place. This guy with beautiful clouds. That is a beautiful, beautiful car. With the detail that must have gone into making that is just supreme. There's some good, you know what, I like the liveries, or something, but I mean that's a thing of beauty. That is hundreds and hundreds of decals to get that. That is absolutely brilliant. Shady, the real slim one, maybe not, but he's currently running in 4th place in that G70. And not a car that I've ever really rated. I don't race that much anyway, but I've never really rated this as a as a GR3 car, but clearly gets some good points out of it. 215.4 for him in 4th place, and that's on medium compound tyres. Simona's currently running on the soft. Yes, he's running on the soft, but he hasn't done better than a 214.5, which he did, ironically, last lap. So 214.7 was his best on the mediums, 214.5 on the softs. When you consider that 215.4 for Shady is on the medium compound tyres, really some really good pace for him. MT96 is in that top 3 now. He's behind Wendigo. It's BMW versus BMW. This is all about the driver because those cars are identical going into this race. We're on lap 8 here at Miyabi and Yamagiwa, or Yamagiwa or Miyabi, whichever way around you want to put it. And it is essentially 2 racetracks kind of bolted together. Shall we do it on board? Simona's has just started new laps. Let's go on board with Simona's. So this is turn 1, long sweeping left-hander. It takes you down to this section of kind of turn 2, 3, 4, which is all flat-out corners, so technically not actually corners. I don't like calling corners if they're flat out. And you kind of feather your way and power through those as you head down to another big sweeping left-hander. Very kind of 130R about it, you know, the turn at Suzuka. And then you head down, and this is where ordinarily on the usual Yamagiwa you would turn left here, but you don't. You go onto the right, and this puts you into the Miyabi part of the racetrack, and you head round, and this is essentially in the opposite direction to the way you would ordinarily go on Miyabi, and sweeping round to the left and then to the right hand side as you head up towards, the grandstands will be on your right hand side. This is what is turn 1 on Miyabi, and it's another sweeping left hand here at this joined course. Then you head back down towards where those 2 meet up. This is here, and you sweep round to the right hand side instead of to the left, into what is commonly known as on the Yamagiwa course. Heading round to the right side, then a big, massive 180 switchback to the left end. A lot of big left-hand turns here, which is why you see so much strain on the right front and right rear tyres. Then you've got a little jink here, just dropping off the pace with a bit of gearing before you head down for the big final right-hander that takes you down to the start-finish straight. And we should see Simona's just peeling off to the left-hand side and popping into the pits to get rid of those very worn soft compound tyres. And in he goes, and that will promote, if we can get the view, we can, Wendigo into the lead of this race. And here he goes, he's going to take the lead. He's back on the soft compound tyre, so he's run soft, soft, and then soft again. Now, to be fair, Wendigo's pit twice. Twice already. Simona's has only just pit twice. It's looking like quite a good pace from Wendigo at the moment, because although he hasn't put in the same kind of lap as Simona's, is he going to, if he constantly runs soft, 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 he's going to have to pit a lot more, but does it give him more pace? That's the question. A little bit up and down in terms of consistency. 217s, 215s. If he can keep consistently in the mid 215s, this could be a very, very good race for him, and he could snatch that chance of that 8th successive victory away from Simona's. There is Simona's. He is back out in 2nd place in that Mustang, and that is pure power. It looks like a powerful car. It is a powerful car. Quite long pit stops here though. That's the thing, is, you know, once you put it through as well, the pit stops are going to take an absolute age. MT96 are back up into the top 3. He's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. I think it'd take a very, very brave man with some very big brass ones to keep this car out for another lap. Shady running in 4th place, and the gap's starting to open up now. That's Shady in 4th. He's just Probably about 2.2 seconds behind MT96. But the gap behind, there is nothing behind him. There is nothing there. It is an absolute age. You can see there, he's just coming in to that big 180 switchback. Whereas we look at Pleasurecraft there, and you know he's some way back before he's coming into that turn. He's just coming up to that same turn now. So they're in different sectors. There's almost a sector between Shady in 4th and Pleasurecraft in 5th. So here he comes, Pleasurecraft moving into the final sector, and that is when Digo crossed the line to start a new lap. So quite a big gap already building up MT96 into the pits. As I thought, Shady follows it in. I'm not sure how close Pleasurecraft is in terms of making this move. He's probably got another lap worth of fuel. So if he wants to, he can stay out. It's whether he does or not is another matter. Does he peel off? No, he does stay out. Does he move up into 3rd place, albeit briefly? Yes, he does. So 3rd for him. Paz Kozas up to 4th place. MT96, where does he come out? He comes out in 5th, well, briefly, until Tomosius moves up into 5th place. And Arminis now looking around the outside potentially. So MT96 back out on those soft compound tyres. He's going to make the move back on Tomosius. Tomosius won't give this up too easily though. Has the inside line there. MT96 with the inside line, the BMW there, does move back up into 5th place. So Tomosius, this is his final lap before he goes back in for some fresh tyres. So much pitting, and we've only done 11 laps. We're coming up to the midway point here already, which means potentially there's going to be some cars out there who have done 6 pit stops to the end of this race. The sky's still looking pretty darn shit, but it's alright. It's not rained so far. I don't even know if it can rain on this track, to be honest. Arminis GT, there he is. He's at the back of Tomosius, crawling all over the back of Tomosius, and really giving him something to think about. He's really forcing Tomosius to think about his lines. And the problem is, when you are defending so hard as well, sometimes it throws you off your line, and sometimes you have to put more wear through your tyres. You're obviously burning more fuel. It makes your job just a little bit harder. Gidrazo, little bit back from that battle. You can see it raging ahead, just up there. It's just basically a corner ahead of it. So if those two are coming together, he's in a great position. Obviously, we don't want to see that, but if you're Gidrazo right now, you probably do. Because behind you is... Got too many on, haven't I? Shady. There he is. That's where he's come back. He's come back out in 9th place. Wendigo into the pits. And guess who's back in the lead? It's Simonis. Of course it is. Of course it is. Who else would it be? Pleasurecraft, does he make his way up into the top 2? Wendigo's got to put some fuel on this time. Pleasurecraft will come into the pits, so he will not take 2nd. MT96 might. He comes round that final corner. Wendigo still... No, he's out. Wendigo's out. He's back out in 2nd. That's good news for him. He's going to hate... I thought we hadn't changed his tyres then. Didn't update straight away. So let's have a quick look. Show you what's going on, so you can see what I can see. So Simonis on the soft compound tyre. We know this only does maximum 4 laps. It's ridiculous, but clearly the pace justifies the enormous number of pit stops. And he is probably 2 laps from coming in on these tyres. So this lap and then 2 more. Wendigo's back out on the softs again, so he will pit probably 2 laps after that. So they're slightly out in terms of their pit strategy. Simona started on the medium compound tyre, which gave him that little bit extra running time early on. Now, does that make a difference later? Does that put him in a better position later? You know, I know these guys have run their simulations, they've run their races, they know what their strategies are, but you know, it's very difficult to see how it ties up until we get into the tail end of the race. And we are past the halfway point here, 12 laps into this 23-lap race at Kyoto. There is MT96, there is no other cars to look at right now, running comfortably in 3rd, or relatively comfortably in 3rd. He's got no one behind him. So I would say that's very comfortably in third. Not really, I don't think, putting the challenge on Wendigo. I think Wendigo and Simonas have got their own little race going on at the moment. They're not even really racing each other. They're kind of racing their strategies. Paz Kozas in 4th place. He's got a nice little bit of air front and back, which can just allow him to kind of crack on with getting that Porsche around this racetrack. He's got to nurse it home because those tyres are in really bad condition. Needs some fuel as well, so he's going to get it, or he needs to get it home first. I can see Arminis closing on him all the time. Arminis himself is going to have to come in this lap as well. So we're going to see Paz Kozas in, we're going to see Arminis in. That will promote Shading back up into that top 5, comfortably in that top 5, into 4th place. Manfredas, he's probably got one more lap in him before he's going to be heading into the pits. And there we go, Arminis is in, and Paz Kozas in. Pleasurecraft, he's on nice, fresh, medium tyres, which means about 5 or 6 laps before he has to start thinking about a pit stop. Is he close enough to make the move on these two? Paz Kozas putting fuel in, he's right there. Arminis, he's right there as well. Here comes Pleasurecraft. He moves up into 7th position, dropping Paz Kozas, has come out on the softs, and Arminis, who's come down, also come out on the softs, down into 7th and 8th place. No, it's not. It's 8th and 9th place, sorry. Gidrazo back there in 10th. He has already pit. He's on the medium tyres. He's going to run longer than both the cars in front of him. Now, obviously, he would love to beat them on the racetrack if he could, make his way past them. But if he can't do that, it's not a massive train smash because they both have to pit again. So he's going to have track position a little bit later, being on those mediums. It doesn't actually look like there's much difference in terms of pace between the softs and mediums, certainly for the front runners. And at the moment, Gidrazo's staying quite well with Arminis on those medium compound tyres. Timosius back in 11th place, also running on the medium compounds. We've seen these guys run softs as well. They're very quick on the softs. Dana Stee, he's gone for the hard compound tyres. Very different strategy, but could this prove to be an absolute genius masterstroke? Knowing that everybody else is going to have to go in 2, maybe 3 times, if, and it's a big if because I don't know if they'll last that long. I mean, looking at how long the mediums last, certainly possible. If those hard compound tyres take Dynasty to the end of this race, and the fuel most certainly will, he could find himself somewhere in that top 5 because of how many pit stops everybody else needs to have. But he's going to need to be dropping in at least 2 18s and 2 19s at the very, very worst. Really, 2 17s is where he needs to be at. Wendigo with the fastest lap, he's gone sub 214, but a sub 213.9. That's a really, really hot lap for him. Mr. J in 13th place. He's on the medium tyres because of rear end damage. Will he close on Dynasty? That's the, I mean, there's a big, big gap to Dynasty at the moment, but he could possibly close on him. Dariukas a little bit further back, and he's on the hard tyres as well, but quite worn hard tyres, so he might have to pit for some softs. Be interested to know how long he's been on those tyres actually. I'm looking at the pit stops. It looks like he's only done a couple of laps of those tyres, but he's only managed to do like 223s on those hard compound tyres. So actually, maybe it's not necessarily the wisest idea. Manfredas into the pits. Is Dynasty close enough to capitalise? Still got some way to go, and it looks like Manfredas is on the way out already. So there we go. He's going to have to pit again, of course. He's on the medium compound tyre. Right, back out front. How's it looking? Well, there is Simonas. Simonas is firmly coming towards the end of the penultimate sector. Wendigo just crossing into that same sector. So they're only just, I mean, they're still in the same sector as the racetrack, but still some gap between them. But Simonas will be pitting at the end of this lap with those ropey tyres. Wendigo, probably another lap, further lap for, or maybe 2, if he's really, really brave. I think he'll probably just do 1 more after this. So he will briefly, very briefly, take the lead of this race, I think. Just for the 1 lap anyway. But that's how it's been. There's been a lot more about overtaking the pit stops in this race than anything else. So there comes Simonas. He's got to put fuel on board. Wendigo's going to have to put some fuel on board as well. But maybe not so much. He can go another lap. The key for Simonis is how quickly he can get out and how closely he can close that gap. So when Digo stays out, Simonis still, I can't go to him for some reason. Another thing broken. Thank you very much, PD, for... like I'm going to say it, right? In any other job, if you do your job and you don't check it before you send it out and you fuck it up, you lose your job, right? But this doesn't seem to happen to people like PD. It seems that they can genuinely fuck things up and put them out there, and it's fine. We just have to suck it up like it's supposed to be like that. Roll it back. Say, I'm sorry, we got it wrong. We're going to have to roll this game back because we cocked it up. But no, we're trying to sell £550 fucking VR headsets. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw over the people that promote the game on a daily basis. It will get noisy for kids when we come home from school, but it is what it is. So when Digo leads from MT96, he's moved up into second place. He'll be coming in the pits this time round. Now, interestingly, when Digo and MT96 in the pits, Simonis will go back into the lead of the race, of course. But Shady as well is still in and amongst it on those medium tyres. It'd be interesting to see if he can break his way into that top three, because at the moment it does look like it's the Wendigo Simonis MT96 top three show. But Shady's running really well in that G70, and he seems to be getting a bit better performance out of the medium tyres compared to what MT96 is getting out of the soft. I mean, obviously he can go longer, but he's getting a good, decent pace out of those medium tyres. 2:15.4 for instance. Last lap was great to 2:17.2. But if he can maintain that sort of pace on the mediums, now this is lap 15. He is going to stay out for one more lap, possibly. Or I think maybe he'll go in actually. So MT96, he's going to come around. We'll see where he ends up. Simonis is there in third place. He's going to immediately take second when MT96 pulls into the pits. And that is MT96 facing the wrong way. You can't park that there, mate. That is going to cost you dearly. And just look at the state of those tyres. Look at that. Just trying to do that extra lap on those tyres. And it's absolutely screwed things up for him. And that puts Shady right there. Not too far from him. MT96 into the pits finally. But... it's cost him significant time. So any hopes he had of breaking into the top two, absolutely busted. Shady will come through. I'm not entirely sure it's wise doing another lap with those tyres. He's got ahead of him. He's going to lose that place again. So he's ahead of Wendigo, who comes out. MT96 is still in the pits. He's gone for the soft compound tyres, and they will not run to the end of this race. He's going to have to pit again. Surely the best bet there would have been to put on the medium compound tyre. In my opinion, anyway. What did Wendigo do? Wendigo went soft as well, so he's going to have to pit again. Shady's on the mediums. If he goes in and puts on medium tyres, he could run to the end of this race. Wendigo takes that position, that second position back. Simonis on the softs. Wendigo also on the softs. The gap between them, though, is big. It's probably now somewhere around 9 seconds. In fact, I'm going to try and count it out here. So, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000, 9 1,000, 10 1,000, 11 1,000, 12 1,000. It's loads. It's over 20 seconds. There we go. I don't need to count that out. He's 20 seconds behind. So maybe, just maybe, he's not going to catch him at this stage. But good running from Wendigo here, better than the rest, clearly. Which does obviously mean that Simonis continues his record-breaking winning streak. And that'll make it 8. I'm sure it's 8. It was 7 in a row last week. It must be 8 in a row this week. And look, I'm aware it says round 3 down there. It's supposed to be round 4. My bad. I forgot to change it. My bad. Right, Shady on some... Well, talking to Shady, those tyres are pretty damn shady. But he's only got a few corners to keep it on the road. MT96 behind him. We saw what happened when he was on tyres that couldn't make it, and he had a little spin, and it's cost him some time in that battle. I really think Shady's best bet here is to put on medium compound tyres. If he does that, I think he's a shoo-in for a top 3, and I think that will be his best finishing performance in this championship, and even through season 2. I think it will be his best finishing performance. I don't know if he did it in season 1, but he certainly didn't do it in season 2 or season now up until now in season 3. So here we go. He's into the pits. MT96. He will come through, but he needs to pit again. Can't change. Paz Kozas into the pits. Pleasurecraft. What's he going to do? He's going to stay out for one more lap. As we see Arminis in the distance. In he goes. So Gidrazo through. He's up into 5th place. He's going to do one more lap, and I tell you what, again, dicing with death with those tyres. Lap 17 of 23 for him. Tomosius in 6th position. Really spread out now. And let's show you just how spread out this is. So there is Simonas. He is into sector 1, 2, 3. He's into sector 4 of lap 17. Of the other drivers on lap 17 all the way back to, well, it's a long lap, it's a 2-minute lap. There's Danish D, he's just starting lap 17, he's in 12th place. Mr. J, he's going to start lap 17 very shortly in 13th. Dariukas on those hard compound tyres in 14th. The Danish D still running those hard tyres. Yes, they are going to make it to the end, but I don't, the pace hasn't been there, and 219's just not been quick enough to get him involved there. Arminis has come out on the mediums. He should run to the end. No danger there. Paz Kozas on the softs. He's going to have to stop again. So even if he does get around Shady, who's ahead of him, he's going to be in trouble. He does. He certainly looked at it. Right, Shady's put on the medium tyres. He can run to the end. Manfred's ahead of him. He's going to have to pit again. Gidrazo, he's going to pit right now this lap. Tomosius as well will pit. Fizruckus, maybe do one more lap, then he's going to pit. Also will Pleasurecraft this lap. MT96 has to pit again. Wendigo has to pit again. Simonas has to pit again. Now, the big question here, though, is how close is that going to put, or is he Shady, to, and he's got Paz Kozas has got ahead of him. Hopefully he doesn't hold him up. That's the big key thing here. He doesn't want to get held up by him. He wants to be able to get that hammer down on those medium tyres. How close can he get to MT96? So he's there. MT96 is just crossing the start-finish line. So he's going to have to plonk on a bit of fuel, and he's certainly going to have to plonk on some tyres. Shady doesn't have to do that, but I think it's going to be close, and he needs to just up his pace a little bit, Shady, if he wants to nick this top 3. Absolutely the right call to put on the medium tyres. Gave him the best possible opportunity to do so. He is going to have a very angry, very quick MT96 on soft tyres in and around him, but he's putting in such a good performance today. I have no doubt in my mind. Did Paz Kozas stay out again? Oh, he's on soft tyres. Stop again anyway. So right, so up into 8th place he goes. That's Shady crossing the line now. MT96 is there. That's quite, that gap's only right out actually. 44 seconds into that lap, so maybe MT96 has done enough. So Wendigo, 1 minute into the lap and 1 minute, so there's 20 seconds difference between Simonas and Wendigo. There is what's that, 10 seconds between Wendigo and MT96. Fizruckus is 20 seconds back. Tomosius is not far off the back of them. So there is a battle going on here for 4th. Although it's going to be pit, not yet pit. So it won't go on for long before Fizruckus dives in, Tomosius dives in, Manfredas will do one more lap, maybe 2 more, and then come back out on the soft compound tyres. Paz Kozas has still got a few laps left in him before he has to go in, and then it's Shady. So still interesting to see where it'll come out. We need everyone to do their last pit stop, and then we'll have a much better idea of what the hell is going on. Some very, very different strategies today. Very different. So Simonas leads the way. He comes across the line. Will start lap 19. Wendigo, he will start. We'll find out when he starts lap 19, which will be soon. In fact, when he crosses the line, we can see how far ahead Simonas actually is. So Wendigo crosses the line. 18 seconds is the gap. MT96, he's going to cross the line. And the gap between him and Wendigo is 10 seconds. So I don't think he's going to catch him. They both need to pit again. Both need to fuel again. Simona's going to come in this lap. He will pit and fuel. That will leave him 4 laps to do on the soft compound tyres, same as when Digo. So he'll have to go 1 more lap and then pit. MT96, I think, fuel-wise, probably wise to do it this time. That's a Fizz Ruckus in. Manfredas, he's staying out for 1 more. Not surprising. Paz Kozas stays out. He's on the softs. He will have to stop again. So Shady now up into 6th. I think a top 5 is a guaranteed shoo-in for Shady. Top 4 certainly on the horizon. I think top 3 is just out of reach for him. You never know, but I think it's just out of reach, even though MT96 has got a pit. So full rundown from the back forward. I can't get that far back because so Dariukas in 14th position. Hard compound tyres to the end. Well, I don't know why he's put on hard tyres at this stage. Stick on the mediums, buddy. Stick on the mediums and put in a bit of pace. Get fastest lap point at least. Manfredas, how you doing, buddy? Where are you? As you're saying hello, let's find you. Where are you? There you are. You're running in 4th place. And I assume you're about to pit on this lap. Having a little go at Paz Kozas, or Paz Kozas having a little go at you. Getting ahead. But you've got 1 more pit stop to go. And it looks like you're going to take Yoda, little baby Yoda, into the pits this lap and run till the end on the soft compound tyres. Do you catch this man here? He's got a pit again as well. So potentially. Don't spoil it, but I reckon you catch him. So Simonis goes in. We know Wendigo is going to come round this final turn. Did Simonis come back out yet? He's not even in the pitch yet. Wendigo comes round. This is when he goes hammer time. Do you come in now? Yes, he does. So it is literally going to be a 20-second gap. He's going to have to make up. Simonis, a bit more fuel on board to start with, so better position. MT96 is in. Paz Kozas, he will do probably 1 more, maybe 2 more laps if he's really brave. I think 1 more is sufficient. Then get on some soft compound tyres to the end of the race. Lap 19 of 23. There's Manfredas. He's going to come into the pits right now, aren't you, buddy? You're going to come around this final turn, and Shady will move up into 6th, who's running to the end of this race. There is MT96 coming out of the pits. So, despite the fact he had to do an additional stop, Shady just didn't have enough pace in him to close that up, and or just to be fair, King Bob had some really good pace today. But Shady up into 5th. 1 more car in front to stop him from the top 4, but that's Paz Kozas, and he will have to stop 1 more time. So Simonis leads 20 seconds to Wendigo. MT96 running in 3rd place. Just have to answer the call very, very quickly. So about that, kids home from school. Right, so Simonis leads the way. So that 20 of 23. Wendigo about 20 seconds back in 2nd place. I don't think he's going to catch him. Too much work for him to do at this stage. He does have the fastest lap though. That's an additional point. 2:13.911. And he's not in the 911, he's in the BMW. MT96. Good work from him, to be fair. Probably deserved driver of the day. Had a really bad start and had to work his way back through the field, but has done so and got himself another deserved podium position. Yeah, that will put Paz Kozas up into, he'll probably come out around 6th or 7th maybe. So Shady, Shady's going into the pits, and he didn't need to. I think if he looked after those tyres, he could have run to the end of this race. What a really unusual decision. I don't understand that choice. Surely, if he was going to pit again, he should have just gone on the soft compound tyres in the last run and just gone for it. So that's, I mean, he's come back out in 4th. He's come back out ahead of Fizz because he had enough fuel, of course, which made that difference. He's going to run on the soft compounds, but he is some way behind MT96. There is MT96. He's in sector 3, and Shady just coming out of sector 1. So a bit too much work for himself to do, but he has still gained 4th place. So not lost anything. That's the main thing. But he may well have put himself in contention for top 3. If he planned on stopping, well, we don't know. So Fizz Ruckus in the most beautiful Supra on the planet. He's going to be in 5th place by the looks of it. Although Paz Kozas is not far behind him on very, very fresh, soft compound tyres. There is a very real chance that we could see Paz Kozas making a move on Fizz Ruckus into the last couple of laps of this race. We're on lap 21 of 23 here at Kyoto. And we know that, look, he's basically got 2 laps to close the gap because the 3rd and 4th lap on these tyres, they're just too ropey to cope with to really make any significant moves. So what he wants to do here is he wants to go full on hammer time at this stage and close up that gap. There's not a huge difference in terms of performance from the mediums to the softs, but there is enough. And just as we were talking about the extra fastest lap point for Wendigo, Simonis goes and puts in a 2:13.1. He's an alien. He's an absolute alien. And he's coming up now to lap Dariukas. Dariukas on lap 21, Simonis on lap 22. So, yeah, to be fair, they're all on the same lap, which is always good. But Simonis in the lead of this race. He's got 2 laps remaining. Wendigo also on lap 22, 2 laps remaining for him. MT96. He's had to pit again. That's put Shady a lot closer. So actually, I think he did that for safety's purposes. He probably could have dragged it out for 2 more laps, but I think he's taken the right idea. And he saw that he had a gap, so he's used that to nip in, put on some tyres, and safely get his car home. So Shady a lot closer than we could have been. So actually, if he stayed out on those medium tyres and maybe looked after them a bit, he could have potentially nipped that. But alas, you're not to know the strategy of the car in front of you. There's Fizz Ruckus, and I said it was going to be a battle, and here we go. Here's Paz Kozas now in that 911, using the superior tyres to get right up behind Fizz Ruckus, and there's going to be a little nudger. He's going to make that move. Fizz Ruckus trying to hold on to the inside line all the way through. Big switcheroo here. Is this where he does this little dive underneath, or is he going to make the move round the outside? That's a brave move, and Paz Kozas does make that move round the outside. Does he make it stick? Absolutely he does. That's a great move from him. Up into 5th position. And should pull away now from Fizz Ruckus in 6th. Manfredas there, he is with Gudrazo a couple of seconds back. Don't know if he's going to be in position really, Gudrazo, to catch him. A little bit of damage on Manfredas though, that could come into play. But Gudrazo being on those medium tyres, and they are worn medium tyres, and maybe a little bit too worn for any significant push on the final lap. Arminis there is in 9th place. Again, medium tyres got a little bit better, but he's got some rear end damage. Timothy's behind on the softs. He's got to do 2 laps, a lap and a bit on those soft tyres to the end. Pleasurecraft in 11th, Dynasty in 12th, Mr. J is 13th, and 14th place is Dariukas. Everyone on the final lap. Here is Simonis coming round for his final lap after doing a 2:13.1 on those soft tyres on lap 21, just to cement the additional point. So point for he's getting points for the wins, he's getting points for pole position, and he's getting fastest lap points as well. Absolutely dominating this championship right now, and this will be 8 wins on the spin for this guy. Just been absolutely unstoppable. He is the reigning champion, of course, and doing himself no harm with retaining that championship. here today. This is round 4. We're off to Tokyo Expressway next week. Between now and next week, we're going to work on trying to find some workarounds so we can do the live broadcasts. Apparently there's a couple of things we can try. They don't necessarily always work, but we'll see how we get on. As he comes round into the penultimate sector, he's got a few corners left before we see him cross the line and take the win here at Kyoto. So it may be that we have to do formation laps and stuff like that in order to have it run live. But we'll see. We'll get this tonight and see what happens. I think we need a full lobby probably, but we'll see. So there he is. There's your current championship leader and reigning champion, Simonas. 2:13.1 was his fastest lap. He started on pole. He's finishing this race in the lead of this race here at Kyoto. And he comes round that last corner, heads towards the finishing line in that Mustang. And there he goes. Good race from him and finishing on very little fuel and very little tyres. Exactly how you should finish the race. First place for Simonas. Wendigo fought such a good battle. Held the lead of this race a few times through the pit stop strategy. But just limping home with a little bit of fuel left in there, just enough to get across the line. And Dario's only lapped on one car. That is a phenomenal performance to be fair. Wendigo crossed the line in second. MT96 in the second BMW. Fought back well. He's my driver of the day. Absolutely my driver of the day. Fought back really, really well to get himself home in third place. And bearing in mind that he was at one stage practically last in this race. So yeah, some good performances from him. Some good driving from him. And there he's in third. Shady will come home in fourth. A very, very good finishing position from him. Up into fourth place. Ahead of Paz Kozas. He'll be pleased with that, Shady, because he doesn't normally finish that high up. Paz Kozas will come home in fifth place. There he goes, crossing that line. Fizrokas and Manfredas very close together. Has Manfredas got anything left? No, it's coasting across the line. 6th and 7th for them too. Dudrazo will come home in 8th, unchallenged, with very little fuel. I think a lot of them are coasting across the line with just a bare minimum of fuel. And Black Flag team driver, of course, Arminis, comes home in 9th place. There he is crossing the line. Pleasurecraft crosses in 10th position. Timosius off the track. Those tyres are shot. So he's got to stroll to get him home. And Danis D could very well catch him if Timosius can't keep his car on the track. They're coming round the last corner. He's got to try and keep it. He has managed to just keep it on the track. But Danis D ever getting closer as Timosius crosses the line in 11th. Danis D comes home in 12th. And Mr. J coming in 13th. Darius, of course, finishing in 14th place. Mr. J comes down and crosses that line to finish up the race today. So there we go. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it live yesterday. We had to do it from the replay today. As I said, we'll try and find a workaround for next week and something to get it done and dusted. But there we go. Thank you for joining me. I've been Empire. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with the Lithuanian National Championship. Catch you on Sunday if we find a workaround. If not, then probably Monday for the replay.